Dagnai Holdenstock, the dwarf character. He's the captain of the airship that the adventurers are fighting out of. I like that. I like that you have a hub where your adventurers go between their missions. That was something I think was missing from other Warhammer Quest games. I'm not too sure because I haven't really played them, but I think it's really cool. It reminds me of like a video game where you have your central hub that everybody goes back to between missions. So I'm looking at this figure and I'm thinking, okay, everything makes sense. It all looks correct. And then I'm clipping them out of the sprue, and I found this when I'm clipping the pieces out of the sprue, 29B, and it's just a tube. And I don't know where this is supposed to go because when you look at the instructions, there is no 29B, and there's no indication that there is a weird shaped tube that's supposed to go anywhere on this model. I mean, are you guys seeing it? Do I just not see it, or am I imagining that there should be a 29B? And then I thought, oh, maybe it's a different model, right, that has it. But then these are all, everybody has A's. I didn't really look on this side, but I wonder why they would put. See, everybody's going up into it's like going in the 30s and 40s. And then you've got the villains is already it's a different sprue. I'm not even going to worry about the villains because the only thing on this sprue looks like it should be the dwarf and the ogre. It's this half a sprue. And these all look like the ogre bits. So what the heck is this? 29B. I don't know. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe it's nothing. Let's leave that here on the side. Hopefully it won't get too distracting. And let's begin. Oh man, I didn't really take the time to clean the bits because I was trying to figure out where that part came from. So let's do that live. Interesting. We can look at each bit. He's standing on an Watch skeleton. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that when I was looking at the model. The skeleton has a little pointy helmet. It's very cool. Do you have any recommendations for miniatures? What do you mean, Ninja? Recommendations for like miniatures that are easy to build, that are fun to paint? Sometimes, depending on what you're looking for, it could be completely different things. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing this a little bit off camera because it's easier for me to see and get into detail. There's a little bit of flash on this axe. You're going to get some on the head there, as well as right on the gauntlet. Fun to paint. Okay, fun to paint. I love the old school vampire counts. I love anything from Warhammer Fantasy Battles in the Empire range. There's a lot of creativity. Everybody's different, if something is fun to paint for you, that might be different than something that would be fun to paint for me. But I like the creativity of the Empire troops because you can use different color schemes to represent the different city states. I enjoy 40K. I enjoy the Death Corps of Krieg. They're not cheap, but those are really fun Imperial Guardsmen to paint, and they seem more true to scale than Cadian shock troopers. I really enjoy those. I enjoy most armies to paint, actually, now that I think about it. The only armies I didn't care to paint were Tomb Kings, which is sad because now they're gone. And I love the Bretonnians. I just couldn't get a lot of the fine detail, and I wanted to do a lot of freehand on my Bretonnians. The range itself, too, wasn't that great. Looks like you've got some flash right here on the top of the gun, so I'm just going to shave that off. And that looks like the only flash that I can see on this bit. The way I see it so far, Witch Hunter, The Rock, Bird Nerd, Hawaiian Elf, and now Steampunk Dwarf. That's right, we're racking them up today, Brady. The models that I find fun to paint are any model that you like the look of, Ninja, in a white dwarf, and anything that really excites you when you see it. The new Lumineth elves look really fun to paint for me, but I know I'm not going to enjoy painting all that white. And then I saw some alternate color schemes on White Dwarf, I think, as well as online. People were painting them like the old high elves of Trace, which is a lot of heavy reds and golds. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, that takes the white out of the equation completely. You can just paint a bunch of red cloth, and I love painting red cloth and red armor. So you can have fun with anything. Also, if you're going to be painting to play the game, you want to find an army that works with your playstyle that you think would be fun to play as well. You don't want to collect an army, spend all this time and money painting them up, and then put them on the tabletop and just really not enjoy the way they play. That is unless you're more of a painter than a gamer, which is myself. I started painting orcs and goblins and 40k orcs. There's a little flash on the top of that backpack I pointed out. And I just enjoyed painting them just for how weird and crazy they were. They were also fun for me to play. I don't think I ever won a game with them, but they were so much fun to play. Okay, a little flash on the bottom there, and 2 little pieces at the top that I'm gonna have to shave down. I'm supposed to tell you to use the back of your hobby knife to shave down mold lines. I just used the blade itself, and they also tell you you're supposed to shave away from yourself, like you're whittling something. You're not supposed to shave in. But I grew up just doing this for so often. I got so many cuts on my fingers that I've just grown used to doing everything the wrong way. Flash dwarves. I got used to doing all this cleaning the wrong way, the way I'm not supposed to, and I just gotten used to it. So they tell you though, in hobby school, cut away and cut with the flat edge of your blade so you don't end up nicking your fingers like me. What I don't understand, and something that makes me more, no, it used to, I thought it would frustrate me more, but now that I see it, it doesn't. They're using the old runes that they would use with the dwarves for Warhammer Fantasy. And when I was first clipping this piece out, it made me really upset. It made me say, like, how dare they use my old school dwarf runes on this new Age of Sigmar trash. I was upset too because the Stormcast Eternals, they don't use English in their script for all of their banners and their tattered scroll work and stuff. They use some weird form of runes. So when I saw it on this dwarf, it frustrated me more than anything. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, as much as I don't like it initially, seeing them does give me a hit of nostalgia. Makes me think, oh, maybe they'll do more with the old world dwarves. Maybe they'll see so many people just being upset that they completely blew that up, that they'll do more with them. Be like, how dare you? How dare you besmirch the name of my old school dwarves? This new rubbish. Okay, a little bit of flash on the sleeve there. A little bit on top of his head. That I am going to use the back of my blade, just because more often than not, I've been shaving a Space Marine's head, or someone that's, some bald character in one of these games, and I cut a little too close, and it looks like they had some sad birth defect that made them have like a flat part of the head where it should be round. Oh, what? Oh, what a beautiful morning. Squat players. Oh, yes. I can imagine if you're a squat player, you like these new Sky Dwarves. Okay. It's already 9 minutes. Come on, Tay. What are you doing? You're slacking. So front dwarf, front body to the torso, that's the back part that's standing on the skeleton. And yeah, this looks easy enough. You've got 2 pegs and 2 slots. Yeah. Far over the misty mountain. I remember when they broke out with that in the Hobbit. They all started singing. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's a whole nother thing. The Hobbit from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings trilogy was so epic, so grand in scope, and so serious. Mostly serious once they got to the second and third movies, and then the Hobbit was just a bunch of silliness. Can't look at him. All right. What's next? The axe and the mask. Yeah, let's tell this guy stop singing. I wonder if okay, looks like you do get a little bit of play. Oh, very important. Don't let your glue dry before you really slot this part in because it looks like there's going to be a nasty gap that's going to make you very unhappy. 2 dungeons deep. So I'm going to wipe away any excess, but you really want to get these two pieces fitted so there's no ugly seam. Yeah, I noticed that and I thought, oh man, that's happened to me before where I've had some model that I didn't precisely glue in. The seam just was so blatantly obvious and really ruined the look of the model. So you only want to hold it long enough to get a good bond. If you want, I mean, you could really hold this for a while, but I got stuff to do, so I'm gonna just hold it long enough to give it a good enough bond that I can continue working. Yeah, it looks like you do get a little bit of creativity with angling your axe, but I'm gonna go with what it looks like on the box cover, right? Or is it a specific angle? Oh no, it looks like you don't get any freedom of movement. Oh, look at that! Those sneaky, tricksy buggers at Games Workshop. They knew the bottom part would be easier to close up than the top. Okay, this is actually I'm not gonna say I know this is what happened, but it seems to me, as a hobbyist, there would be a little bit of that gap at the top that you saw. But once you have this arm angled like that, is it just a coincidence? Or is it more that it's covering up where that top seam naturally occurs? It looks to me like a conspiracy. It's okay though, it works. It fits. It solves the problem that we had a little gap between the majority of the great coat and then the area where it connects to the buttons. Very good. Okay. Let's glue the what was it? The mask? Yeah. Cujo, what's up? How are you doing? Love your videos, sir. The Games Workshop conspiracy. I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy of Cujo painting. I've been for years. All right. Goodbye, goodbye, my friends. Blip. Cujo, what do you think of Curse City? Have you had a chance to paint the models? Do you play the game? What do you think? I'd be interested to know. Yeah, that's good. Oh, thanks, brother. Cujo painting. You got me back into painting. Anybody I can get back into painting makes me happy because this was a hobby I really enjoyed as a kid. I had no artistic conception. I had no idea that I would enjoy the hobby of painting, building, painting, and modeling. I just wanted to play the game. I thought it was cool to have little figures that you can push around on the tabletop and roll dice. And then when I came back to it, getting back into the hobby, like Cujo said, it was hard. There was only, I think, girl painting and blue table painting were the only ones doing Warhammer videos. And I was looking up how to paint orcs and goblins, how to do this, how to do that, and nobody had started it on YouTube yet. And now you've got so many great people that are doing videos of such high quality. And I feel like the little old man whittling at the gas station in the town on the side of the road that's just time has passed him by and I'm watching all these kids, all these youngins driving by in their fancy cars and I'm like, hey, slow down. All right, that's enough stalling. We got the glue back onto the face, or the mask onto the face. Our dwarf has stopped singing. He's got his mask on. I didn't get the box. I think some of the models have a kind of computer design look to them. Not that big of a fan. Yeah, could just be the GW paint job though. Yeah, I see what you mean. This one, yeah, this one does look pretty nice. And all of the models I've found they're pretty easy to come together. Some I naturally like more than others. Back in my day, Games Workshop didn't have their own painting tutorial. Yeah, kudos to Games Workshop. Who was the first guy? What was his name? Was it not Duncan? Right? Wasn't Duncan the first one to start making these videos? I wish they had that back in the day because I remember when I was trying to figure out how to paint Games Workshop models, you would look at the pictures, the box art, and you try to figure out because they didn't have 360 views, they didn't have like showcase videos, so you couldn't see how the studios did their paint jobs. You had to really just figure it out for yourself. Now it's a lot more transparent. Although I do think the heavy metal paint jobs are different from, yeah, you had to do a lot of guessing. I do think the studio paint jobs are a little bit different, watered down. They had a few articles. Yeah, man, I remember those heavy metal articles when Space Hulk came out, and I was like, "Oh, look, they've got a tutorial on how to do a masterclass Space Marine Blood Angel," and it was so intense. They had like so many different paints, and they're like, "Okay, now you're gonna do a mixture of 1 part Bugman's Glow or the skin color and 6 parts of this other color, and you thin it down and you do glazing." And a lot of the heavy metal masterclass books were articles were a little out of my scope. All right, while I was rambling, I just put them on the bases you can see there. It'll make it easier for me to work with. And what is the next part? On looking at the instructions, we are at this stage. So we're going to get the gun arm on, and then you can see the back. His backpack is going to attach in 2 points to the slot in his back as well as to the coil there. And see, this is, I mean, we'll get there. I'm going to keep building this, but it does look, back in my day, videos were on tapes. It does look like the guy here is missing this part that I really don't know why they put this on the frame. This feels like I'm getting deja vu of when I built Lewis and I didn't put his bat fringe collar on, and later on I realized like, oh, I should have put that on. Doing it all out of sequence was not helpful. I had the original Space Hulk. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I think I had the most recent Space Hulk. I didn't have the original Space Hulk game, but I remember seeing it in Games Workshop when I was younger in the store. The Deathwing, right? Wasn't it the Deathwing? All right. Enough jabber and Tay. Let's get this guy's arm on. Man, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm growing more and more used to dwarves being sky captains of steamships. This is going to be kind of weird because his arm, you can angle it, and that means you're going to have to find the right angle so that this back part glues. I don't understand why they don't have that perfectly shaped so that there's only one way you can put it in, because this is a tricky two point glue. Yeah, I know. All right, so I think this is the outside. And there's no, oh! Ta-da! We did it, boys. We found where that stupid piece goes. It's going to connect these two. But it doesn't say it. Where's 29B in this drawing? It should be here, right? They should have a thing that points 29B connects your backpack to your dwarf, but it doesn't. They don't have it. That's got to be it, though. I know that's it because there's two pegs on this piece, and there's 2 slots according to where I think they go. But how? Which way? Which direction? Okay, that's like a square. We're doing what? Am I wrong? Did I mess it up? No, this looks like it should be, right? It looks like it goes one half goes in here and the other half goes into the body. I'm gonna say I think the shorter half goes into the backpack. Try fit that. Kaboom! And the other half, but is it angled up or angled down? Oh man, you guys! Did I figure it? Did I figure it out? Did I solve it? Just gotta squeeze it in. Yeah, otherwise you're gluing the backpack right to the body. Why is there no note on that? I don't know. This might be wrong. The angle might be wrong. I think it's in the right side, but it might be down. You gooey. Ah, my perfect first attempt. That's right. We solved the problem at least. We figured out the mystery. Oh, there you go. We did it, gang. Scooby Dooby Doo. The only part that I had wrong was the angle. So that little punk 29B, for anybody building this model, you know what? In case future civilizations dig through the rubble of my home and find this in years to come, 29B. Long part. Oh, long part down. Nubbin. Short part. Insert there. I did your job, Games Workshop. He looks pretty good. Now that we know how he's supposed to come together, he looks pretty good. This is such a cool model. There's some, like, from the old school dwarf runes to just the angle, this weird harpoon gun, his face, he's stepping on a skeleton. Everything about this model looks really nice. I don't know why they didn't do a feature article on this guy. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Like the other three models, I'm going to add some AK natural texture to the bottom there. You see, it creates this really nice just texture on top of the base, so the base is not completely flat. And then on top of that, you can add some, probably going to add some dead grass tufts or something, but they look pretty good. Oh no, Games Workshop, don't send out your hit squads. I'm going to be putting this on, natural texture, just using a hobby tool. And then I'm going to slap that on, set them on the side to dry. I might even prime these guys today. Who knows, man? We'll see how long that takes. Oh, this video is going way over. I'm trying to do these videos in 10-minute segments, but yeah, that got a little long. That one got away from me. Next, we're going to go to Brewtog Corpse Eater. That's a great nickname. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces plus the little decorative part for your base. And this guy does come with a 40mm base with 2 slots in it, or 2 hexagonal slots in it. So that's what we are going to use for the base. Don't try to put them on the smaller 32mm. Clip out those pieces and have them on the ready. Clean up the mold lines. Yep, that's the way I do it too. Add the I like to do the base, build them up to the base like that, and then add the texture and then spray prime, because the primer will lock in everything. If you're using bits of sand or rocks on your base and you glue them with Elmer's glue or white glue, then white PVA glue, when you spray your primer, the primer is going to seal and lock everything in, so hopefully the texture doesn't come off the base. I know a lot of guys like to, and Games Workshop too, they're proponents of this in their tutorials. They put the basing on at the end, and I'm not as huge of a fan of that, because sometimes when you're painting the base texture or you're gluing stuff on, it'll get onto the model and it won't set. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the rough texture on. I'm going to clip out the parts for this guy. We'll see you guys in a little bit. I hope you join me. And if you want to get away from YouTube for a little bit, I'm going to go to the Discord, links in the description, and I'm going to be doing all of that over there live. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one of the Dagnai Holdenstock character. See you in the next video.